Torture means different things to different people. To some it means having to do without. To others it means having to endure. To me it means not knowing if I'm being tortured or not. If death defines life, then death must be its primary experience, no peak like the peak from which there is no descent. In which case, until that moment, and until this moment, a moment so quintessentially incomprehensible to the human mind, yet so definitively predictable, until this moment, human beings have only held a lease and never really owned their own house. This could be my last chance. To do what? To be what? To be human, mortal? Aging is the most decadent of sensations, breeding all manner of conscious delusions. Finite possibility hangs heavy on the human frame. Yet the urge towards a final resolution against all universal logic remains. The imperative remains to experience that one quintessential moment of truth that will allow the ultimate transformation of death to be fully cooperative with the transcendent cosmos. But what if the greatest cosmic principle is that nothing needs to be done, and everything that seeks to move this world forward is merely defiance incarnate of the great cosmic incarnation? How can I then destroy myself or anybody else without recreating the universe an unprincipled loss, a tyranny of unlawful gain? I need a sign. Give me a sign, something, anything. If learning how to live is learning how to love, is the truly informing lesson to experience the total lack of it. It's a common human failing to equate choice with freedom, as if the universal state of being did not, of course, preclude such simplistic, diversive and divisive notions. Life on this planet continues to consider itself either blessed or cursed, as if reality was a game of ping-pong, and the outcome of that game would settle the matter once and for all. Sometimes I walk the streets of this city, amazed at my capacity to withstand such utter loneliness. My emotional disconnection from real human beings is undoubtedly my greatest trial. Do real human beings experience similar despair? I find it impossible to believe. Feeling at home here is 9/10 of what sanity is. Knowing my real home is on another world, on another planet, is bound to imbalance me towards madness. I've been experiencing difficulty with my eyesight lately. My vision is often blurred and strained. If I go blind, does that mean I've seen all I need to see, or does it mean I'm somehow failing to justify my optical needs? How much of what humans see is necessary sight? How much merely wasted vision? It's a scientific fact, apparently, that babies can see through their skin. It's a reality that most adult humans either lose or fail to cultivate this facility. If I go blind, would I be missing something or achieving mastery over this desperate need to always be able to see where we're going? If beauty is in the eye of the beholder, if I go blind, does that mean the world will never appear beautiful or ugly ever again? Is it possible for one human being to release the equivalent energy of all humanity? Can one part in truth speak for the whole? Are all lives, all history, all myth, all science and wisdom always contained in the most minute moment and physique of life? And can this moment be so exploded a human being can see the workings of its creator? And if human beings could see the workings of their Creator, would that improve their relationship to their neighbor? Or simply condemn them to knowing that, in fact, only their own illusion lives next door? It's a common notion in this primitive culture to believe if human beings behave well on earth, they will proceed after death to become angels in heaven. Less fashionable theologians, however, argue that once a soul has been embodied, it must forever need an embodiment to express itself and can therefore never become an angel. Some people believe in a Christ being the only occasion this cosmic rule was broken. Others believe it happens all the time, that there are more angels in heaven on earth than there are keys to understanding how else so-called miracles can happen. It is in the nature of earth mystery to cloud human memory of previous worlds, and an infinity of gender pulsations that can no more be penetrated than a hole can be dug backwards. The yearning of a human soul too often sets standards and expectations their bodies can't possibly sustain. And it may seem to each they have been betrayed by the other, though in truth, to have fashionably set such mortally romantic limitations on our potential for love is the greatest treachery the world has ever known. What happens to the human psyche when it first realizes it is embodied in a thing that can't fly? What happens to a body whose psyche cannot accept this fact? What happens to a fact when the imagination flies away with it? Is a fly a thing of beauty? Must a thing of beauty remain a thing forever? Are human beings grounded by their limitations or sculptured into beauty because of them? Is the beauty of the human being grounded in the fact that it was never meant to fly? Is this being processed as I speak, or is it being filed away for future generations? I'm beginning to understand that time and space are the same dimension. I am separated in my human form from my eternal being, not by time or space, but by time and space together. Human beings are their own ancestors, in which case we must have the capacity to reshape, subvert, even obliterate our own heritage. But understanding has no value unless it informs an action. Enactment is the true challenge in this world. I desperately need to act. And though my extraterrestrial being guarantees ultimate immunity from earthly trials, the supernature of any purpose here demands that I experience them fully. So I am truly afraid of the loss of all the things I've grown to rely on, which I know are not real for me. But I know I must feel the pain of every living thing, even when, to all intents and purposes, I may be the one inflicting it. The mystery must be enacted in full to confront its unreality. She's a dancer. She dances naked for anyone willing to pay a few dollars to watch. She is bound to exhibit neither fear of nor fear for her body. She must appear shameless in a culture in which shame has become a primary guiding restraint. Her presence has become very precious to me. To be alive on this earth seems to be bound into gender. This seems to be where the secret of life pulsates. Against all universal logic, I must penetrate this pulse. If I'm ever to understand humanity's true origins, I must experience fulfillment of female, but deeper than the womb, much deeper than the womb, where the muscle no longer binds with the plasma, where the organs no longer grind against the sinew, where oxygen shifts silently into ether. I must inflict pain. So much pain it becomes impossible to believe it was a choice, which of course it has to be if I'm ever to return home knowing my mission was truly well accomplished. And when the deed is done, the stage set, the dice played, the apparent void bridged, it is a violent occasion to enter into another's physical presence. No matter how tenderly broached, the wound will be permanent, even eternal, as permanent and eternally passing as life itself. When the sack of skin has been mortally punctured, and the distillation of its spirit is the only hope left for humanity. What remains when the blood and the bones have been soaked up and reclaimed by the earth? Do you find her breath sweet? The condensation on her lips from the liquid bitterness between her legs. Nod your head, shake your head, let your head speak for the world. And I will take your head and I will place your head on the shoulders of the world. So the world will see itself for what it really is, for what it was before magic returned to reclaim the physical carcass it was originally offered. But don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I have nothing to offer you but my magic, the tricks of my trade. And are you ready to begin? Are you ready to be finished? Are you ready to be finished, to begin? This universe has been ready to begin since time began. Since space first opened up its sex and desire and cruelty were born, twins in one of the same excruciation. Do you realize how much energy I can release into this world simply by parting a woman's legs? Not even the foulest dog would seek revenge for an act already committed. The chains are not chains, and unless they are linked to something that never grows old and dies. So close your eyes till your eyes see the darkness, till your eyes become the darkness, and in that darkness you will experience visions of light that light itself could never possibly shape. You will experience a knowledge that one step, even one step, one fumble, one tremble, but in a given direction, you will tumble into an abyss where human function has no design. You will fall into the belly between your own legs, and men will sing songs of a virgin's death, and women will be silent when men are satisfied, and the sexless screams of infinity shall echo only in a mad dog's ears. So much power. So much strength, so much energy, so warm, so secret, so perfectly unsustainable. The universe itself must finally wince and choose its purpose afresh, and the dog will vanquish its own shadow. But don't be afraid. You have nothing to fear from a man with no sex. I submit this as my sayonara. I am no longer a separate entity. I have already relinquished my previous outlook and personality, entered the unsublimated supraconsciousness of my target's being. The world now has the capacity to transform itself ad infinitum, for better or for worse. It is my time to return home. Something is about to happen now that has never happened before and will never happen again. Let it be duly noted that my final sensation was an awe-inspiring unwillingness to let go, as if there really was something I've missed. And will she remember me fondly once the horror is over? Will she remember me at all when she is no longer what she was? Galsum, Nimet Yenistat. The chains are not chains unless they are linked to something that never grows old and dies.